this job, fuck you boss, fuck your profit and fuck your loss, fuck you Linda at the front desk too, guy in the mail room, fuck you, this whole company can slide my knob, fuck all y'all, fuck this job.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of the AM Grind and Grit Show. I'm your boy Walls P, and shout out to everybody in the chat room. We got Khaled in the building, and we got Suzanne in the building. So welcome to the AM Grind and Grit Show, hosted by yours truly, Walls P and Gary Lamb, which is a live collaboration between Matter of Opinion and the Gary Lamb Network. The show that will assist you on your travels to work, or if you work from home and you're getting the kids ready, or you just getting off of work, whatever it is that you're doing in the morning, we are here to rock with you from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Gotta love it. It's the weekend. And of course, winter is coming. So I hope you ladies and gentlemen are dressing warm this morning, because over here in the East Coast, yep, it's about that time that it's getting cold. So, what are we talking about this morning? We are talking about parenting. How hard parenting is. The difficult trials and tribulations of being a parent. And what sparked this, I wish I was able to pull this up, but of course this is a mobile show, ladies and gentlemen, so, certain things I'm not privy to, or Gary's not privy to. But if I was home, of course I would. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll do it for the rewatch crew. I'll make the video, the live, private, and then repost it and add it, in for the rewatch crew. But I was on social media, and this was on Halloween. I saw a post by Sexy Red. For those who don't know who Sexy Red is, that's a woman, African-American woman, who is a rapper. And the stuff she seems to rap about is promoting promiscuity. And one of her main songs that put her on the map is Pound Town. And yeah, if you don't know what it is, read the lyrics and you'll get the general consensus of what it is. Now, some label her as an industry plant. Some say she was put there by design this way to corrupt, women in general, preferably Black women. Because the things that she's promoting, it's just like, wow. Like, you can't make this crap up. So she had a post on Halloween that said, well, she asked the question, is anybody dressing up as me for Halloween? Now, in light of her posting that, a few weeks back, there was a sex tape that dropped of Sexy Red. And she was on the internet saying, hey, was it me? It was leaked, or whatever the case may be. But a couple weeks later, it's rumored that she's pregnant. Well, not rumored, it's confirmed that she's pregnant. So now when she's performing, you see she got a little pop belly starting to develop in the whole nine. So as she posted this tweet asking, is anybody dressing up like me? In that same tweet, she follows up by saying, make sure, I'm paraphrasing here, but if you're going to dress up like me for Halloween, make sure you're pregnant or make sure you get pregnant to basically confirm that you're trying to be like me. Now, this is a woman that when she shows up, at schools, crowds are going bananas and crazy. She just recently had a show, did a show at a stadium, and she sold out a freaking stadium. Like I couldn't believe it. She sold out a stadium, which means that there's a general consensus of the population that actually reveres this woman, look up to this woman. They listen to whatever she say. They'll mimic whatever it is that this woman do. Now, she's not married. She's not engaged. To my understanding, she has a boyfriend or somebody that, she sees time by time. Someone she's, as we would. So my thing is for you to post on social media, remind you, there's kids that listen to you, the whole nine. For you to post on social media, hey, if you're gonna be me for Halloween, make sure you get pregnant or you're pregnant. Do you not understand like what that will do to the masses? Like, since when has being pregnant became, a fashion statement, a badge of honor that you wear on your sleeve when you're not married or you don't even have a commitment with somebody? Now, I understand in her case, since she's a artist, she's right now, I don't know what the future will hold, but as of right now, she's doing pretty well for herself. She's definitely doing well for herself, selling out shows and all this stuff like this. I still believe she's an industry plant, but she's doing well for herself. So in that case, her having this child, I don't know if she'll be the greatest mother or whatever the case may be, but at least for the time being, we know financially she can take care of the baby. And if things get out of hand, you could hire a nanny. Like, you have so many different options because you have the financial backing to do so. But when you're promoting this getting pregnant as a fashion statement by any means necessary, what does that do to the people who aren't ready for the baby? People who are blind followers who just think, all right, this is cool. Sexy Red said to do this, so I'm going to do it. And the problem with parenting is you do not realize how hard and difficult it is until you're literally in the trenches, when you're at the point of no return. When you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I can't get up and do whatever I want to do. When you losing sleep because this child has to eat, especially newborns, what, every 3 to 4 hours? And God forbid if you're doing it alone. Doing it with two parents is still a struggle. So imagine doing this alone. So what's going on, Gary Lamb? I see you in the building, brother.
Oh man, what's going on? Man, how you doing?
I'm doing
How you
good, brother.
doing?
I'm doing good. I see.
Good.
You sound like you tired, so it's all
Yeah,
good.
I've been
Hey,
dropping all night, so
I know what it
um,
is, man. I
yeah,
know how it is.
that 4:45, get quick little nap pain, that 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 ran into 5:10, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's all
oh shit.
it's all good. I was gonna hold it down one way or another because the
So
show,
he was
we
like,
got to
"Aren't you
get the
supposed to
show
be
going.
doing the live?" I was like, "Crap, you're
It's
right."
all good. It's all good.
What
I'll
up,
hold it down,
everybody?
brother. I'll hold it down.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, um, so what up, everybody in the chat? What everybody at Rumble? Everybody on Discord? Whomever is listening, what's going on? Yeah. I was listening while I was getting ready
Uh-huh.
to what you were saying, and what I gathered is that there's this singer, this artist who
Sexy Red. Sexy
sex.
Red. I'll give you the recap. Yeah, Sexy Red on
Oh, you're talking about
Halloween.
sex. You're talking
Yes.
about Sexy Red. Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
On
so
Halloween, she posted a tweet saying, "Hey, if anybody's gonna dress up like me, make sure you're pregnant or you get pregnant." I'm paraphrasing, but if you want to complete the cycle of dressing up like me, then get yourself pregnant.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yes. And like we did a Saturday show of a woman who got on like TikTok or social media and was posting, "Hey, I'm gonna have a baby," dancing, all this stuff, being real excited and happy. And then when the baby got there, she had the most depressing video talking about, "Oh my God, I can't take this," and tears, crying, because the job of parenting is difficult,
Yeah,
difficult, and not too many people could take it. Like that's why you see parents going postal and deleting their kids, and people on the outside are like, "Yo, how the heck can you actually do this to a child?" Ladies and gentlemen, I say this as a parent. There are times that kids will drive you nuts. There are times that kids will drive you nuts to the point where you're just like, "Yo, I'm freaking done. I want to drop them off, whether to a relative or, wherever possible, where they can alleviate this off my hands, alleviate this child off my hands." And even in two-parent households, if the mom is with the kid, and usually the father can sense when the wife had it up to here and she's at that breaking point, that's when he tapped like, "Yo, sit down, go relax, I got this." And vice versa. So just imagine doing this by yourself. It's a difficult task, man. It's a difficult task. But if you want to jump that
yeah.
shit,
I
oh,
mean,
go ahead.
yeah. Look, listen. Being responsible for, and this is, I guess, we're talking to the youth right now.
Yeah.
When it comes down to that, being responsible of anything that it can be a freaking. What's up, Susan? What up, Collab? Jay, what's going on? It doesn't really matter what you're responsible for. If you're responsible for anything that's requiring you to look after it and take care of it, it's going to be a nuisance because
Mhm.
you're not going to be able to just do what you please. Yeah, you are the overseer, but because you're the overseer, you're responsible for everything that goes on with that person.
Mhm.
Um, and no one's going to learn that better than a parent.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yep,
So,
yep.
it's just, I remember, listening to my sister-in-law um, get mad at her child because he was getting into everything, man. She's just trying to freaking put on her makeup or something, and he's like pulling down the freaking curtain and stuff. So
Mm.
it's like you don't get a chance to do anything um, without supervising this being. And
Mhm.
he does get to a point where it does become a nuisance for some people, not all, but for some people it does become a nuisance.
Mhm.
Um, but to be 100, uh, nothing's going to become more of a nuisance than trying to do it by yourself. That
Oh yeah.
part, that's the part that really irks that's going to be the stuff that's going to really bother you. Because
Mhm.
once you sit there and it sinks in that, oh my God, I'm responsible for this thing for 18 years.
Yep.
I'm frustrated and it's only been 5 months. This is 18 years.
Mhm.
Okay. Uh, God forbid you have a disgruntled child. God forbid you have a arrogant child. God forbid you have a little mini you. God
Mm-hmm.
forbid you have a child that's acting just like his father, but you have no idea how to cool it down because the father is not around. I mean, there's so many things that you don't think about until it hits because all you're thinking about and all you're excited about is, I guess, the camaraderie, or I guess, what can I say? The praise that comes along with being pregnant, right? Because
Yeah,
women get a
yeah.
lot of praise for bringing children in the world. They get
Mm-hmm.
tons and tons of praise.
Yeah.
So you once that is over and you're no longer able to carry the child in your body anymore, and now you got to get strollers, car seats, uh, outlet freaking plugs, and cabinet hanger plugs, and friggin' anything that's possible for them to pull on it. You can't have it. God forbid there's a hanging rag and there's a pot of something hot,
Mm-hmm.
on top of the rag, and the kid
Yep.
pulls the damn rag and boom. It's
Yep.
like, so you got to look out for every little thing that could
Yep.
possibly go wrong
Mm-hmm.
because you're responsible for his life now. And this child is not interested in what the hell you want at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Yep.
At all. At all. Sexy Red will learn. If this is her first child, she'll learn. She'll learn
Mm-hmm.
quickly that, this is not as simple. The thing is that she has an opportunity to become a role model in a good way with this child. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
she still have an opportunity to do so. She can turn her whole act around with this child and say, "Listen, this is not easy."
Yeah.
I mean, and I got money, and this is not easy. So it's like I can only tell or only imagine someone that's doing this and that's not financially prepared. Because
Mm-hmm.
listen, yes, mom make it look easy when mom is doing it on her fourth, fifth or child. Of course she is. She's been doing it for how long? So yeah, it's easy to her now, but it
Yep.
wasn't when she first started. So yeah, you will adapt to it. You'll become, get your own little routine going, your own normal, and all that other stuff. It works. It is great. It's fine, and all that stuff. But then you got to get to the point where you're no longer just watching out for the child, make sure the damn thing don't kill itself. You're now responsible for teaching this child how to be an responsible adult
Mm-hmm.
for the
Yep.
world,
Yep.
right? Just because the child has to become responsible for with the world, and that relies on you. Okay, that relies on you. You have to be willing to discipline this child, and if you haven't been disciplined, you don't know how to shut your mouth. You don't know how to, you know, navigate yourself. Hey, look, listen. Sexy Red found a pocket that she's making money with. Most people are not going to find that pocket. You see,
Yeah.
most people want to have to work with other people.
Yep.
You can't just be on some asshole shit all day long as an adult. You can't do it. You're going to have to appease to a crowd. Okay?
Yep.
And if that crowd doesn't like you, guess what? You're broke. It is
Yep.
that simple. You are broke. So it's more to life than just, looking good and sounding good and acting a fool. And yeah, that party scene, that shit wears out fast. I think I
Mm-hmm.
got tired of the party scene within 2 years.
Yep.
2 years of me becoming an adult. I was like, all right, so what's the point of all this? Okay, I get up, I go to work, spend all my damn money. What up, Aaron? Um, I spent all my damn money at the club, getting into the club, popping bottles, looking good because that right there, you got to have the fresh Nikes on. You have to have the fresh gear on. You
Uh-huh.
can't just go into the club looking like, wait, yo, you wore that same shirt last week. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They remember that type of stuff. Especially if you had a fire ass shirt on, you can't wear that to the same club the next week. So you gotta look fly.
Yep.
You gotta look fly.
and you do this every single
Don't
Friday,
even talk
Saturday,
about the drinks.
right? The the the,
Don't
the
forget
watered
the
down
don't forget
drinks,
the
right?
don't forget the liquor.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yep.
I'm hitting that too.
Expensive
It's
as I don't know what.
not only are they expensive, but they're watered down. You're not even getting the full
Yeah.
freaking flavor, you know. So it's like I can go and get the same damn bottle of whiskey or whatever at a liquor store,
For half the
and that
price.
not only at half a price, but the thing lasts you the whole freaking month if you're not
Exactly.
a heavy drinker,
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
know. So I had bottles of Hennessy sit in my house for 6 months before it was done.
Hmm.
So it's like it depends on the type of drinker you are. Um, but all this is going coming down to the wire of you getting older. You know, you're learning, you're understanding. Like, well, I now understand why they said this. I understand why they said that. I now understand why and it takes time. You know, but when you're raising a child as
Yeah.
you're trying to grow up, it's going to hurt you because you're going to transfer all that anger and frustration over to your kid, and they're going to do the same damn thing.
Hmm.
So this
And
whole thing,
kids
yeah,
and the thing is, when you're building up that frustration, especially if like you're doing it alone, and you start building that frustration because of the fact that you're doing it alone, and now you take it out on the child where anything this child does, crying, you got to feed them, change the diaper, all that negative energy you bestow on the child, and that child starts to feel that negative energy.
yeah,
Like it's since the child senses like, yo, this person don't really love me, and that bond is severed. Not to say you can't get it back or whatever, but that bond is severed, and it's very hard to get it back. Very hard. And I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day, and it's like, yo, as a parent, you don't understand, man. Like, if you was a person who was never proactive or well preemptive, you better learn to be preemptive now. If you was a person that wasn't proactive, you better be proactive now. If you was a person that didn't have patience, you better have patience now. If you hate repeating yourself, you better learn to love repeating yourself. Because I promise you, you can tell children a million times not to do something. They're going to do it. Now, are there outliers of kids that, they actually do listen and they're perfectly good angels? Of course there is. But the majority of them, oh, you're going to be repeating yourself a zillion times. And I don't know about you, Gary, but you ever went through that phase where your child did something and you know the answer to it, but you still ask them, like, yo, why did you do this? And they have that stupid look on their face like you got five heads and they're blinking like a million times and not saying a word.
yeah, yeah.
It's funny thinking about it now, but at the moment, yo, that thing is an oh my gosh, man. It will drive you freaking crazy, man. So parenting, man, that's why I don't understand how these women like are okay with lying to other women saying, hey, parenting is cool, whatever, having a baby is cool. It's easy, this, that, and the third, and it's really not. Like you getting sold a pipe dream. Now, don't get me wrong. Having kids are phenomenal, life changing, even for the better. But with that being said, it is a lot of work, a lot of work. And that's the part that, gets swept under the rug.
It's the work that never ever goes out of style. It's the
Yep.
job that doesn't clock out. It's a career that's never paying you back. I
Hmm.
mean, it's just it's all that stuff. Now, can you find an environment where everything's perfect and hunky dory and it's just minimal, frustrations? Of course, but those environments are usually set up with a lot of resources. And
Hmm.
people do not understand how much kids cost. Kids cost a lot of resources, not money, resources. Okay. Yes, money is definitely a factor. Obviously, $250,000 over the course of an 18-year-old lifespan is the equivalent of what you're going to be paying, right? In $250,000 over 18 years. That's what you're looking at. So that's tremendous amount of money. That is so for every kid that you have, you're basically giving up $250,000 to raise them.
Hmm.
All right.
Yep.
So I remember telling my children, I said, I'm expecting a return on my investment. I'm expecting
Yep.
a return. You're not here for you anymore. You are here for your parents now. You have to give us a return on our investment.
Yep.
Um, now, some will argue, well, why is that their responsibility? And my answer is, if it's my responsibility to be a father to the children that I decide to have, then you must be a responsible child or responsible future adult so you can do the same thing for your children. So I'm
Hmm.
passing it down. So yes, I am going to put that mantle on to you, and I'm not gonna shy away from it because it's those rites of passage. There's two men. I'm not sure how it works with women or girls, which is why I want a little girl so I can understand female behavior a little bit better. It's nothing like watching a son grow up and seeing the transition that they go through and
Hmm.
understanding them. But
Hmm.
I can't wait to watch them, watch a daughter raise up that way. I'm so eager to see that. Um, I mean, I don't know if it's in the cards for us because we also want to enjoy our life. We're sick and tired of being bad parents ourselves. All right,
Hmm.
let's go on vacation. We want to do stuff for ourselves. You know what I mean? It
Yep.
gets that point. But
Yep.
um, to ignore the teachings of yesteryear for this new age parenting that clearly is not working, it's a problem. It's absolutely a problem. And getting out of that way of thinking is going to require parents to step up and start telling the truth about what it is to be a parent because they make it look like it's so easy to be a parent. Oh, it's nothing, put in the
Yeah.
back seat and you're fine. No,
Yep.
no, that's not, what I mean? They didn't tell you
Hmm.
that in order to get them to the back seat on time, your ass had to get up 2 hours early. They didn't tell you that uh, in order for you to be on time at work, you had to lay out all their clothes the night before. They don't tell
Hmm.
you that the whole time you're trying to get these freaking maniacs in the bed. They're fighting they sleep, lying to you about electronics, saying they did their homework and they didn't. I mean, it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and if that's another thing, if you're a person who's not a fan of school and stuff like that, oh boy, you better get them brain juices flowing because helping them with that homework, oh my gosh, man. That homework, like, thank God their mom is good at that stuff or whatever. Because for
Hmm.
me, man, I'm looking at this, I'm like, yo, scratching my head. I'm like, yo, I ain't do this in mad long. Like, Dad, how do you do this? Hold on, give me a second. I'm on YouTube looking at equations and
Yeah, but see that's one of the good things about it, right? You actually get to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
young with your children. If you are um if you play the role as a parent to your advantage, it really can be amazing, right? Because you'll
Yes.
like I'm going back to school simply because I don't like the idea that my sons are smarter than me right now. Like, hold
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, we ain't
yeah,
doing that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I'm going back to school for the sole purpose to say, hey, it ain't gonna be that I'm not gonna I know you're gonna beat me. Eventually you're going to beat me. But I ain't gonna make it easy for you.
Uh-huh.
You know, so it's like
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to go ahead and step up my game. And I mean, I want you to see a clip that I put out. I don't. Do you see it there? Is it there?
Yeah, I could play it.
Yeah. I want you to play this clip because this is Myron Golden, and I've been watching him for some time, and it's funny how Mattis said this is the topic he wants to talk about because I was literally in the middle of editing this clip for TikTok. And this is the type of stuff that I'm doing on TikTok. But I was just in the middle of editing this clip for TikTok and for YouTube, obviously. But I'm not putting this clip on this particular channel. I think I'm going to put it on another channel. I haven't decided exactly where I'm going to put it, but I'm definitely not putting it on this channel. But go ahead and play that clip.
All right.
Scripture say that if I don't provide for my family, especially those in my own house, I've denied the face of worse than infidel. The Hebrew word for father is Abba. Now, when we spell it in English, it doesn't really show us anything other than how it's spelled. But when we spell it in Hebrew, the word Abba is spelled Aleph Beit. The letter Aleph represents God. The letter Beit represents a house. Now, here's what's interesting. The letter Aleph is the letter that begins Elohim, El Shaddai, and El literally means towards God. That's what it means. I mean, if you take the letter Aleph and the word letter Lamed, it's like towards God. We say Bethlehem, right? But in Hebrew, it's actually Beit Lechem. Or Bethel, we say Bethel, but it's Bethel, the house of God, right? But Abba is God's house. What does that mean? The Father is God's representative in the house. And so as God's representative, if I'm not providing for my own, the reason I've denied the faith is because I've misrepresented God to my own family.
Now, tell me how that made you feel to hear what he just said there. Do you have to see it again to let it
No,
sink in, or
no, because in all honesty, um, I feel like having like regardless of what your belief is, I feel as though people who have some type of faith or some type of um basic instruction before leaving earth. That's what some people use as an acronym for Bible, basic instruction before leaving earth. And if religion is a natural way of life, whatever religion that you live in, whatever religion that you believe in, if it's used as a tool for a natural way of life instead of being used as an emblem, I believe it will bring better connections to families and to couples because it gives you like some principles, values, moral compasses to abide by. And if you abide by those things, it will make your marriage, your family, everything that much easier to maintain. Will it be perfect? No, of course not. Nothing's perfect. But will it add like some core values that will make it easier to stick together, to have a plan to how to make this process work? Absolutely. So everything that he's saying, yes, I agree with it 1000%.
hmm,
1000%.
see, being for me, that made me want to step my game up a lot, like
Hmm.
a hell of a lot, because if that's the mantle that God is installing, has installed on me as the godhead, I guess. It's the lead of the household, the lead of my family. I don't get an excuse.
Yep.
Period. I don't get it. I don't get to have emotions. I don't get to have feelings. I don't get to say, yeah, but well, what about me? I don't get to say those things. That goes way out the window. And it does help you take that boy and put him in his place. Just like, no, I can't. I am responsible for how my family views um, me. I'm responsible for that. They need to view me. If my daughter needs to look up to me and say, "I want a man like that." Right? My children has to look up to me. And my sons have to look up to me and say, "I want to be a better man than that." And I don't care if I'm a poor example or a wonderful example. I want you to look at me to say, I want to be at the very least the equivalent of what my dad was. That don't mean you're going to do everything the same way I do it,
Yeah.
because you're going to have a different upbringing than I did. See, my kids were sheltered. They didn't get
Hmm.
to go through getting jumped and beat up and touched by people when they was children. They didn't get to go through that. So thank
Hmm.
God I broke those generations, those curses. But I want them to remember my story,
Yep.
because there was a time where that would have been passed from me to them
Yep.
had I given into it. So I don't want them to forget my story. And I tell my kids, I don't give a rip how good you're doing. You make sure your children earn every ounce of life. Make them
Hmm.
earn it. Because once
Yep.
they learn how to earn things and they get the true value, or should I say, they appreciate hard work, they won't be afraid of it. My children, they're not afraid of hard work. They understand that hard work is hard, but the glory, the accolades, the prestige, the feeling of accomplishment that comes over you when you get a good hard C as opposed to an easy A. That was a hard C, and I got that C. I was supposed to be failing in class, but I got a C. Right? That's a
Hmm.
hard-earned C. That's an accomplishment to some. And that next thing you know, I want to do better. I don't want to get a C again. I don't ever want to see again C. I remember my son came in and he was like, "Dad, I got something to tell you." And I was like, "All right, cool." And he showed me his report card, and I was like, "That's my boy." I'm smiling, grinning ear to ear. And I say, if I see anything less than this, if you get anything less than this, don't even bother to show it to me, because I'm not going to want to see it.
Yeah. But
And he's like, "Oh
here-
man."
here's my question to you though. What if he comes with a C or whatever, and he literally gave his best,
then
and
I then
he's
that's one
proud
thing.
that
Like,
he gave his best? But if you're saying don't show me it, how is he
hmm
gonna know to show? How is he gonna know to show it? Because if I got a C whatever, and I tried my best, and I was to take it to my dad, and he's like, "Yo, this is good. Like this is good, whatever. But I know you could do better. Can we try and bring that C up to a B?" That little talk right there is phenomenal. But there was times where like I was getting honor rolls, and I'm reading off my report card to him, and I think I had like one C or something. Everything else A's and B's. And when I mentioned the C, I looked at him. He looked at me and like had a scowl on his face and just like shook his head in disgust. And that deflated me because I'm like, yo, I'm literally giving my all. I have one bad grade, and like, you're disgusted by me. Like, you don't even want to look at me. Like, that deflated me where it was like, well, what the hell's the point of me trying? You know what I mean? From that moment on, when it came to school and stuff, teachers were like, yo, you are smart as I don't know what. You should be at honor rolls classes. I'm like, for what? Like, I didn't know what I didn't. I wish I knew then what I know now. My mentality was, why? Why are you gonna give me more work if I'm doing good now with the grades I got now? I go to these honor roll classes. All you're gonna do is throw more work on me. No, I'm not doing it. I'm good with doing the bare minimum. Why?
Mhm.
because I looked at it as whatever I do, they're not going to care if I don't meet the standard that they feel. And if I don't meet that standard, I'm not getting no encouragement. I'm not getting no pointers. It's just a look, like a scowl look on your face, you know?
Well, to respond with what you're saying,
Hmm.
my boys know why I say what I say. I back it up with um, understanding. I want to make sure they understand why I do the things that I do. I don't just throw a lesson at them or whatever. I'm constantly saying this is going to teach you. This is a great learning time. My son, he was like, "Is this another learning time?" And I'm like, "Yes, this is a learning time." And he'll just like, okay, he'll dial into what I'm saying, dismiss his feelings, and
Oh,
realize that
that's
this is me becoming a better man.
oh,
So
that's
when I
amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. Go on.
yeah, so it's not as cut and dry as that. Like my
Yeah.
father did the same thing to me,
Hmm.
and you're absolutely right. Getting deflated like that was horrible. But
Yep.
when I realized he wanted me to be a better man than him, all I did was add in the part that he didn't put in when he was, trying to
Hmm.
train me. Is
Yeah.
I'm not being hard on you because I want to be hard on you. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud that you got a hard seat. You know, I'm proud of you. But the bill collector's not going to give a damn that you got a hard seat.
Yeah.
They don't care how hard that seat was for you. They don't
Hmm.
care how hard it was for you to get the rent up this month. You better have the rent up or you're out. Case closed.
Yeah.
So patting you on the back for a hard seat that will still be a disqualification is a bad thing you do to kids. Yeah, I'm not
Fair. That's
saying you
that's a
you
good
you
point.
destroy their ego, but you say, look, this seat is too damn close to eviction.
Hmm.
Do
Fair
you
point.
want to be skating by like that?
Fair
And
point.
if you do, that's on you. Look, I tell my kids all the time. I said this when they was younger. I said, if you want to be a dummy, you better be the best damn dummy on the planet. You feel, I want to see a smile on your face from ear to ear. I eat out of garbage cans and I love it. That's how your mentality needs to be. If that's what you want to be, you want to be a bum, you should be the best happy go lucky bum on the face of the earth because you chose it for yourself. Nobody
Hmm.
made you a bum. You chose to be a bum. And I will be behind you 100%. You can't come in my house because you smelly, but I'll be behind you. And it's those conversations I think that I have with my kids that got them to the point where they're willing to take responsibility for everything they do, which is my, if I died right now, I'm done. I did my job. They
Yeah.
understand what it means to be responsible for their own actions.
Hmm.
You know, my my
Yeah.
my, my kids are like, I don't want to get married because I don't want to be responsible for somebody else's actions, and I'm like, I agree. I don't want to be responsible for no one's actions either. You know, so a lot of the stuff that my kids are learning today, I truly believe is going to carry them out through the future. Um, but it takes a lot of love
Hmm.
from a parent to be
Hmm.
willing to tell their sons and daughters, look at what mom did and destroyed her life. Look at what dad did and destroyed his opportunity. Look at what we did and learn from it. Do not repeat the same things. Had we not did those things, there's no telling of where we would be today. But
Yep.
at the same time, if you look at all the things that the cards we were dealt, you know, passed down, feeling inferior as a black child, feeling less than because I didn't have certain stuff growing up. Um, Dealing with sexuality issues because you were touched by your cousin or something.
Hmm.
It's like
Hmm.
those things really affect children, especially when they're afraid. not because they're afraid to tell, because I wasn't afraid to tell. I didn't know that I should have told.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it was like, well, they say this was bad touch, but it was amazing. Like, how can that?
Hmm.
That I was
Yeah,
confused on it. So
yeah,
it's a lot there that can be unpacked. But I know I'm smart enough to know, yeah, that shouldn't be passed on to my kids.
yeah.
So
You know another factor too. I'm gonna let you go on, but because your story is amazing. Another factor too is kids sometimes be scared to say something because they think if I say something, I was at fault, so I might get in trouble. Like I played a role in why this happened. So they might be thinking I'll get in trouble or I might not be believed. So the circumstances might be worse or that much dire. But yeah, go on.
yeah, I mean, listen, my father's whole held me to a higher standard too, Scrappy, a way higher standard. He put the mantle on me at 16 because he knew he was on his way out.
Mm,
He put that mantle on me quick. He said I want you to become a better man than me. And I'm looking at this tower of muscle. Like, how the hell am I supposed to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
huh? So obviously I'm thinking, okay, so he's going to teach me how to do it. Nope. I'm going to heaven, son.
yeah,
I'm done
yeah,
with this earth. I'm gone. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Good luck.
yeah.
Have at it. I'm like, what do you mean, have at it? You left me all your problems. Because mine was a big problem. Mine was a
Yeah.
big problem. I was like, wow, this woman do
Hmm.
not like men. Wow. It's like, what are you doing? Like, but
Yeah.
I digress on that. The main purpose of these lies, man. I know this is not beneficial to people that's over their certain age because they done went through all this stuff. But maybe, hopefully, it's edifying enough, or maybe it actually supports you into looking deeper into the things that you've done with your children or are doing with your children. That you might be like, you know what, oh, man, he makes a really valid point there. I could be a little bit more involved in my child's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It don't
Yeah.
take much. It doesn't take much at all. Like 15 minutes of just saying where you at. Do you need some support? Do you need a helping hand? Like, it's something that I can help you. Is some well, I need some advice on this girl. All right, cool. It's my specialty, so let's talk. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like, you know, it's just and you'll sit there and you're downloading into this child with the precursor of, this is how I would approach it. How you
yeah.
approach it
Yeah.
might be different,
Yep.
right? You might
Hmm.
say, yeah, but dad, I like this approach. Because you won't understand my approach until you went through the levels of approaches. I can
Hmm.
only give you the result. All I can do is give you the keys to the kingdom. It's up to you to turn the freaking lock. So if you don't
Yeah.
want to turn it, I don't know. That's on you. I can't. I'm telling you, this is the combination. This is how you do it. Is there another way to figure out the combination? Sure, you could be a pick lock if you want to.
Hmm.
You can get the hearing ears and the little whatever, and you can manufacture your own way to get in, or you
Yep.
can just go get the key and get in right then and there. But again, to navigate those emotions, I remember one time, the very first time my son had a crush, and for years I would tell them, both of them, you're not going to understand what I'm saying until you get that first crush. When you have that first emotion, that first thought, holy cow, she's beautiful. And when you get that in your eyes, once it's there,
Yeah.
you see what I'm talking about. Because it's easy to say, ew, girl, nasty, until you
Yeah.
want to touch one of them. Right? And
Yep.
it's like, oh, I just want to touch her. I just want to touch. How do I get her? How would I get her out of, all those stupid things? I remember the day he gets in my car, he was like, Dad, can we talk? I said, sure. He said, remember when you was telling me about that feeling when you look at a girl you can't get it out of your mind? I said, yeah. He said, I had that today. And he
Mm,
said, I now understand. And
yep.
that right there was priceless to me because he was quickly able to identify with those emotions based upon the information I've given him prior. So for him, he's like, I dad told me I would feel this way. Now I see the feeling. Okay. And I said to him, now you have to learn how to work with it because it never goes away. You could be 50 years old and you'll get the same feeling
Yep.
every single time. Every single time.
Yep.
It's entirely up to you how you navigate those emotions and how you know, proceed. Because you
Yeah.
might decide, I'm gonna pursue. I'm in pursuit now. I'm going for this. I want this. I'm gonna go for it. And depending on how you see it, I was just thinking about that, Toya. I was looking at the clock. Um, um, but yeah, you're ready to pursue this person, but you got to understand that those emotions are flawed, right?
Yeah.
Don't chase the emotions, right? Chase the
Yeah.
person, don't chase the emotions, because if you chase the emotions, the person may reveal themselves to you, and you'll ignore it because you want that feeling to increase,
Yep.
intensify. You want to get to that next level. You
Yep.
can't ignore the person, right? That person may not want what you want out of life. And you might find that out the hard way. You know, well, I don't want any kids. Me neither. 6 months later, well, I told you I didn't want kids. Well, hey, you
Exactly.
should have gave me one.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You should have
Exactly.
thought of that before you gave me one.
Yep.
And it's like I
Yep.
did. So what you want me to do?
Yep.
Well, yeah. Well, too late. It's done. So I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to be parents, man, and
Yep.
it's even worse because now we're finding ourselves parenting other women, other people's children,
Yep.
and we got to do it through our kids, which is sucky. You
Yep.
know, when you get that report that your son said something to a child made her cry, and you gotta. I mean, I ain't have this yet, and I hope I never get it, but I've I've witnessed people have this issue, right? Their kid
Mhm.
made another kid cry, and all
Oh
the kid was
yeah.
doing telling them the truth, but they made him cry. You
Yep.
know, so now you're in that. Now you're in this place. Like what are you doing? What are you teaching your kids? The truth. That's what I'm teaching my kids. The truth.
Exactly.
You want them to be. You want to prolong adolescence and prolong their childhood. No, the faster a child grows up, the better. All
Yep.
right. I told this to my wife. I told she was like, I want them to be kids as long as they can. I said they will be if we teach them right.
Yep.
They'll never have to grow up if we teach them right.
Hmm. See, and this is the thing that people don't realize also. All these things that you're speaking about is the simplicity of how to, what's the word I'm looking for? You know how to um resonate with your children. See, what we explained in our childhood, you explained, and I explained how, no matter how hard we tried, it felt like we was getting shunned.
Hmm.
You're a person who looked at that and was like, yo, I'm not gonna put my kids through that. I know how to resonate with them so that they can be expressive and come to me for stuff. Same thing with me. I said, I'm not going to let my kids go through that. I'm going to make sure they resonate and communicate with me. But you have a lot of people who didn't go that route. All those things that was bestowed upon them, that's how they raise their children.
Hmm.
So those children are growing up without a care in the world and are having these kids. And when they're turning around and having these kids, they're telling other people to have kids. And the cycle just goes on and on and on. But what you fail to realize is You could like having a kid is the easiest part, but getting a kid to resonate with you so that y'all have that bond and you can it's that much easier to put them in the right path to teach them to become adults. That's the challenging part. And just know how challenging it is if you're holding on to a lot of emotions, a lot of anger and frustration from your upbringing. Just imagine how your parents was and they didn't resonate with you. And now you bring a child in the world and you're doing the same exact thing to that child. And then you're wondering why you're angry and all of this stuff like this. Number
Right.
one, you didn't work out those issues that you had going on, and you thought bringing a child into the world can actually help those issues. But what it actually did was magnify those issues. But yet, when you're out in public with these children, you're trying to paint a different persona. And that's where the
Mm.
problem is. You're painting a different persona, making everything seem hunky-dory. Oh, yeah, have children. Yeah. Oh, they're the greatest. But meanwhile, behind closed door, at any given chance, you want to pop them in the mouth or whatever the case may be just to get some peace and quiet,
Yep.
you know? So, like, they're like, don't take having a kid so light because it is a lot of freaking work. And no matter how much people will tell you all the intricacies of parenting, you'll never know until you actually become a parent your damn self.
Nope.
That's the bottom line.
And here's the thing: having siblings is a major shortcut. It really
Yes.
is
Oh
a
yeah.
major shortcut, but
Yep.
it does not replace being
Yep.
responsible. All right,
Facts.
because although you're responsible in that moment for that child, you're still not responsible for that child. Your
Yep.
mom and your dad is still responsible for that child. You can
Yep.
pass that responsibility off. When you
Yep.
can't pass the responsibility off anymore, that's when life really sinks in. Yeah,
Yep.
you'll have the tools of being the older brother or the older sister or the middle child who had to take care of the younger and the older sibling. You'll
Uh-huh.
have those tools in your back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're coming into the game of parenthood, it's going to take a toll on you because you're going to realize I cannot pawn this kid off to my mom. I cannot
Facts.
pawn this kid off to my dad. I cannot pawn
Facts.
this kid off to anybody. This kid is my responsibility now. And you take on a whole different persona as a parent than you ever had as a child. It changes you, or at least it should. Let me say that it should change.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are perpetually stuck in that cycle of me, 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 and they never get out of it.
So
For
true.
the
So true.
wise ones, we wake up and we get up
Yep.
fast. We rise to
Yep.
the occasion. All right,
Yep.
I am not like this. Is how you know you're a good father. This right here. The moment you say, "I have to get disciplined," you become a good father. At that moment. Sure, you still got the quirks and goofy stuff that comes along with being a unprepared parent, right? Because there's going to be a lot of men out there becoming unprepared parents. I wasn't expecting for her to get pregnant yet because there's a hook in there that you don't know about. There's a snare that you don't know
Yep.
about. You know what I'm saying? You think that last stroke is trustworthy. No, it's not.
Uh-huh.
And you're
Yep.
sitting here still playing that game with it, right? Because you
Yep.
want to get as close to it as possible. You really want to feel like what you want to know what it feels like to just all up in some guts. I know,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know. So I tell my kids that I'm like, yo, never play with that. I don't give a rip how good you think it is. It's not worth it. All right, unless you know this person you want to be with you for the rest of your life, and even then, that's even more reason to be calculative. Because if you do it the wrong way, she's going to become a problem as opposed to a gift, and you don't want that.
Yep.
So you need to be responsible for you and her, because she ain't thinking straight right now.
Yep.
You know, she trusting you at this point.
Yep.
You know, you
You're in
heard
euphoria
women
right
say,
now.
"You got me pregnant." They all
Yep.
say it because you got me pregnant. I was
Yep.
trusting you to not
Yep.
get me pregnant.
Yep.
You know, and
Only you know when you're gonna bust off. Like,
I don't know when you get, yeah, you understand. I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm playing my role with staying
yeah,
still, or I'm following the freaking commands you're giving me,
yeah,
right? You said to do it that way, and I did it. Now we got kids, and you mad at me because you couldn't handle your. Come on, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So, you know, it's a lot of responsibility that goes along with it, and if you're not going to be responsible for your, you know, tallywhacker, you know, put it back in
yeah.
its box. Don't take it out. You're not responsible enough for it yet. You don't bring it out. Um, but
Just
yeah,
a
I
side,
mean, once you, huh?
just a side note. I believe if you about to releasing is better when you get in that Gawk 3000 than when you actually up in some guts. But that's just my opinion.
I mean, yeah, but see, that's easy to say when
Yeah.
I'm gonna move past that. Anyway, I ain't trying to make this a sexual conversation, but you know, um, I mean, I just think that a lot of these conversations are necessary for the youth
They
to
are.
hear.
They are.
You know, somebody hopefully might stumble across this podcast and say, "Oh man, what are these guys about?" You know, and say, "Holy cow, there's some freaking words of wisdom in this that really supported me." And
Mhm.
I appreciate that because you
Yep.
saved me from XYZ. Or I am that newly found father who wants to do right by his woman and his child, and I just don't know where the first step is. Right? The
Uh-huh.
first step is becoming disciplined. That's the first step.
Yep.
You become disciplined. I don't care what it is. Be disciplined in art. Be disciplined in rapping. Be disciplined in reading. Be disciplined in cleaning the dishes. Be disciplined in treating your woman like she's a queen. Whatever you need to
Mhm.
be disciplined in, get disciplined in that, and you will become a better man for it.
Mhm.
And I stopped caring what my wife does years ago. It didn't matter what she did anymore. At the end of the day, I was responsible for every action she made, every last one. Because for
Mhm.
some odd reason, when she did something that I wasn't aware of or she went against my word, I still wound up having to pay for it. So because of that, I need to take full responsibility over her too. This is why a lot of men say, I need you to obey me
Yeah.
because
Because that. Yep.
your
Because
actions
we're the
affect me.
leaders. We're the
Right, your
leaders.
actions affect me. And
Yep.
if you do something silly and I told you not to, or worse, you hid something from me and I found out, you know, it's going to be on my head. And you damn right I'm gonna bring it to your attention.
Mhm.
Because at this particular point, you are now my child because you didn't listen. You're weak there. So I'm gonna have to be a father. I'm going to have to be a disciplinarian. I'm going to have to tell a grown woman, hey, stop acting like a little child. Get your shit together. Grow the hell up.
And
Listen, do what you're supposed to do.
just to piggyback off what you said too is this is where you need to let me be the leader and you need to be submissive because the simple fact that for your actions I take responsibility for them, and when outside sources come and try to blame you, no, they're going to blame me for it. I can blame you, but family, our loved ones, they can't blame you because I'm taking the responsibility of the leader. That comes
Hmm.
with being submissive to me so that I shoulder all the burden, even if you mess up.
Now I
That's
did
another
give my wife.
dynamic people don't look at. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now I gave my wife um the privilege to do whatever she wants. Right.
Of course, of course.
And I said, look, do whatever you want as long as you understand that you're going to be responsible for whatever happens at that point. Um, it's just what it is. And this was years ago, years, right? When she
Mhm.
said when she went back to the workforce and she was responsible for certain bills or whatever, what have you, and she clearly understood the responsibility of keeping a bill paid month after month for the next rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
So when she got to that point where she was consistent, she was like, it got to a point where she became um arrogant about it, right? And not in a bad way. A lot of people look at the word arrogant like it's a bad thing. No, it can be used poorly, but
Yep.
arrogance is an excellent thing because
Yep.
you know your shit, right? It's like I'm
Yep.
arrogant when it comes down to talking about as being a father. I'm arrogant. I don't know
Because you
everything,
comfortable. You
but I'm
comfortable with
confident in my ability of being a dad. So it's
it.
like you come at me and I'm listening to you and I'm listening, hearing what you're saying, and there's certain words and phrases and catch craps and uh, stuff that you're saying just tell me you don't know the first thing about parenting.
Mhm.
Just listening to you. Um, with these, you have to treat a child like this, and you have to give them their agency. You got no what? Huh? No, you don't got agency until you start paying your own damn bills. There is no
Mhm.
agency. You got to do what I tell you until you're able to pay bills. Hell, you on Section 8. They want to know everything about your life,
Yep.
right? Because right now they're responsible for you.
So
So you
true.
got to be very, very careful with this whole giving children agency crap. This is why you got 15-year-old mothers. You gave them too much damn freedom, and they're
Mhm.
not ready for it. Not to say that you should try to dwarf their ability of growing. You need to let them make their own mistakes.
The
But
happy balance.
there you go. There's a happy balance behind it. So, but listen, we done did an hour. You want to keep going or you want to cut it?
I mean, we can cut it, and we could always, continue this discussion on another live because we gotta give them something to be like, Dad, I wish this conversation kept going on.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why I said it. And
Yeah,
because I
you
was
know,
10 minutes late, I gave y'all an extra 10 minutes. You see how I did that?
exactly, exactly. I kind
I'm
of
I'm,
figured
I'm
that too.
smooth with mine.
I read that. I was like, you know what? We came late, so we're gonna give them a little bit of overtime. But
Yeah, just a little bit because I mean sometimes we give you a lot more content than just this.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
but this was more of a important live as opposed to the other ones where we just went off the script, had a good time, enjoyed whatever. But this is very special and delicate to my heart because
Yeah,
being a dad is the most important thing in my life. More
and it's a
important than paying bills. It's
yep,
more important than being a husband.
yep,
And that's very important to me, right? Because at the end of the day, Toy can do what the hell she wants to. She chooses to follow me. She ain't got to do that. That's a choice. At any
yep,
moment, she can say, I don't want to do that no more. I had fun, but, I'm ready for something new. And
yep,
I want to say, thank freaking God. Whew, Jesus. Ah,
yep.
ah. Oh. So that means I can play video games now?
Yeah, I know, right?
Can I go back being a kid? I ain't sure. This adult thing is tough.
Yep.
It's hard, you know?
But you're absolutely right, because at the end of the day, the children are literally a part of you.
Yeah.
That's a part of your legacy. That's nothing your spouse can ever say. Y'all are two separate individuals that came together as one, but that child is literally a part of you, no matter how you slice it. That's
Hmm.
part of your DNA. So you're right. I agree with you. Like, I love being a father. That kind of usurps everything because think about it. Even if situations don't work out, at the end of the day, those are still my kids, and I'm still gonna spend time with them and raise and foster those children. So
Hmm.
definitely, parenting is above all, in my opinion. Definitely above all. Now, I just want to do a rapid fire question before we head out of here. I'm putting you on the spot here, brother. Putting you on the spot.
Oh God, no.
Because I know this was themed retro 80s. Top 3 Nintendo games.
Top 3? Oh
Yes.
man. All right. So which generation?
Whenever any Nintendo games, the regular Nintendo that you had to blow the.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
had a
not fair.
technique.
That's not fair.
Remember,
That
yo,
are we
remember
talking
everybody
about?
had.
Are we talking about Nintendo or
The
Super
what?
Nintendo? Are we
No,
talking?
Nintendo, where everybody had a technique. They blow the cartridge under their shirt or put it in the freezer.
Okay,
Everybody had a
yes.
unique technique.
Okay. Um, most favorite games in that was. Oh boy,
I could give you
I
my
love
top 3.
Super Mario Brothers. That was the shit.
Okay.
That
One,
had to be
2, or
number
3.
one.
Just any Super Mario.
The first one.
Okay.
The very first time I
Got you.
put that cartridge in, and they
It was over.
had a bonus game on it. They had Mario
Duck Hunt, I
Brothers,
think.
Duck Hunt, and
Yeah.
that game where you can use the footpad.
Track and field.
I don't remember. I can't recall what the third game was, the name of it, but they had a third game on it. But
'Cause-
Mario Brothers was clearly the very first one. That was my favorite. Um,
Got you.
um, Ghosts and Goblins was my second.
Oh, wow.
That junk was so hard. I
Oh,
never
yeah.
beat that game. Never beat it. But that was one of the games because there's so many pitfalls. I remember. I watched the video gaming nerd, the angry video game nerd.
Yeah.
I watch him all the time, so I watch him beat shit that I can't beat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I watched him beat that game many times.
Yo, why the
So
hell
that
your
was
man,
one of the games.
why the hell your man running in his freaking tighty whities after you lose your armor?
I don't know, but you better get used to seeing a man in tidy whities because that's most of the gameplay. You're going to be in your tidy whities.
For real.
And the third game, gotta go with Altered Beast.
That was
Genesis. That was Genesis.
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't know if I have a third one for the NES.
Got you. All right. For me, my number 1 was River City Ransom. My number 2, Zelda. No, sorry, not Zelda. Contra.
Contra, yes,
was
I remember
number
Contra.
2. And number 3 would have to be a tight, close race out of Zelda and Kung Fu. Kung Fu.
Wait, no, Kung Fu. Kung Fu was the third game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Achoo. When you doing your punches and kicks, yo? Yo.
Wait. Yes, Kung Fu. I remember that. That was awesome. We need to start. We need to play like retro games.
We do.
One day, just
we do.
buy an emulator and just start playing retro games.
I have it. I have that. I have an emulator where we could play literally any Nintendo game, any Genesis game. It's literally sitting in my living room. So whenever you down, yo, we could do that on a Saturday or something and just rock out.
Right. I want to do that. Just go to Twitch
bet.
or something and do it.
Yeah, for real. But we'll have to do the retro retro theme show at another date because we could go from system to system. We could go Nintendo, then Super Nintendo, Sega, Genesis, and work our way up. So
why don't we just do this? Why don't we do a whole 80s thing? You know what I mean? Like, let's do
that's what I'm saying.
Like this. We could do this. If we do this, we got 10 years of content right there.
Facts.
10 years of content. Think about that. We do a whole decade. We're talking movies, video games. We're talking soap operas, sitcoms. We're talking all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Freaking what was going on in the news back then. Like
Yep.
it's tons and tons of content, a
For
whole
real.
decade worth of stuff
For
just
real.
by doing it. And I think we'll have a great time. We probably have to do
Oh
another show
yeah.
to do that, but
Oh yeah. And Scrappy said, "Ask about C64." I'm assuming he means N64. Yeah, we're gonna touch on that too.
oh,
We're gonna
Nintendo
touch on
64,
that. Yeah.
yes,
Oh man,
yes,
that that system to me, like, kind of like that was like that system was so like beyond its time. It's like it ain't even funny. It ain't even funny, man. But
yeah. The Super NES was the shit. That was my
yeah,
favorite console.
yeah,
Before Dreamcast came along.
yep, yep. You're right about that.
Yeah,
But
because
ladies and gentlemen,
Dreamcast
oh,
was. I
go ahead,
love
go ahead.
Sega Genesis. Don't get me wrong, but Super NES just had a better soundtrack. Their music sound better.
It
Um,
did. It
graphics
did.
was tad bit better. But there were games that was on
Yeah,
the Sega Genesis that was just would not quit. And then Sega Genesis kept trying to get add-on on top of add-on on top of
yeah,
add-on, and that's when it started really diluting the Sega Genesis for me because you had to buy all these add-ons, and God forbid you had the
yeah,
second gen Genesis, you couldn't
yep,
even use half the add-ons, so it was
yep,
like it was annoying to me.
yep,
But that Super NES, that every all you had to do was grab the cartridge, pop it in, you're ready to rock and roll. So
yep.
I love that. But 64, Nintendo 64, I had one, but I also had a Dreamcast, and that's the one that trumped. It trumped
Yeah,
the
yo.
64
Yep.
because it was too because most of the games for the
The
64 was
graphics.
kiddie. It wasn't the graphics. It was the game
Yep,
selection. Um, they had the Genesis,
yep.
Dreamcast had a better selection. I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I played that
Yep.
day in, day out for like
Yo,
3 years straight.
that's my yo. That's one of my favorite. That is my favorite all-time fighting game.
What was your team?
Game was phenomenal. Spider-Man, Venom, and I want to say Wolverine. Spider-Man, Venom, and I believe Wolverine. Yeah, that
I
was the
will
team
whoop
I
your
used.
ass. I will whoop your
Please,
ass, dude. I will
please,
eat you every
please.
single time.
Yo,
Yo, Guile
Venom
Sentinel Wolverine will
with
whoop
Venom.
that
Oh my
team's
gosh,
ass.
man! Like, yo,
Yeah,
Venom's a
listen,
problem,
listen,
yo.
listen. Your support characters suck. All right, your support characters suck. Yeah, we gotta play the game. We gotta play.
Okay.
We
See,
gotta
it
play.
ain't what is it that women say? It's not the size. It's the motion in the ocean. It's how you use
Well,
said
this motion
characters,
about to
brother.
whoop that ass.
We gonna see. We gonna see. You gonna be
Now
eating them
you got me
words,
wanting
player.
to put dust
You
up.
gonna be
I
eating them
gotta get a
words.
freaking controller. I don't have a controller. We can settle this shit tonight,
Oh,
bro.
you don't have a controller?
No, but
Damn,
I
but
can
how
get
the hell
one.
could we do it remotely?
Easy. There's a
All
there's an
right,
emulator that allows you to
all right,
hook up.
we'll look into that.
We'll figure it out, and then I'm gonna whoop your ass in
I
front of
believe
everybody.
they might. You got Xbox?
No,
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We're gonna put that in the works. We definitely gonna put that in the works. Because Marvel vs. Capcom 2,
that's my
you asking
shit.
for problems there. When it
Oh,
comes to them Street Fighter type of games, yo, when it comes to
bro,
Street Fighter,
listen. We
you
can
better be a
like, yo,
hell of a
stop,
player to
just
be
stop
able to beat.
talking. Stop talking. Nah, just stop talking. We're just gonna make it
All
work.
right,
Just gonna make it work.
all right,
Cause
bet, bet.
bro, you stop talking. Shut up. This guy I'm signing off.
Okay, okay.
His Wall Street signing off. About to get his ass whooped in front of everybody. You
Remember,
guys
if
have
you
a
was
good one.
capping, stop the cat.
You don't get the
Peace.
last word, damn it.